Second story, self-respect, self-image, self-portrait. You know, we've talked about developing self-respect. It's the same as self-image, and so many people talk about self-image and they use it as a crutch. They say, well, when somebody says something bad to you, it hurts your self-image. Well, it doesn't hurt your self-image unless you allow it to. People cannot paint a portrait in your head without you doing it. Yesterday we talked about the neurons are formed when you're 22 months old. And everything said to you, everything said about you, every experience that you have paints a stroke on that portrait. Well, until yesterday, you didn't realize that somebody else has been painting that portrait in your mind. Well, starting today, you paint that portrait. And you can paint it in any way that you want it to. But you've got to paint it with high self-respect. High self-respect doesn't come unless you're willing to do something in an adverse situation. When Bill Glass had a ministry, and it was a prison ministry, and during this ministry, they would go and they would teach the gospel to these prisoners, these inmates. And at this one, he had Jim Sundberg, who was a great Major League Baseball catcher, with him as one of the guest speakers. And they were in a prison and they were doing the deal. And in a break in the ministry, Bill Glass asked Jim Sundberg, he said, how did you become such a great Major League Baseball catcher? And Sundberg said, I never had a choice. He said, from the time I was this age, my dad would say, boy, you're going to be a great baseball player. Gee, Manee, the way you throw that ball, you are going to be the greatest catcher. You are going to be so great. And so he said, I had this picture painted from the time the first thing I remember was catching a baseball and throwing a baseball, and my dad tell me how great I was going to be. And there was an inmate standing there, and he said, same thing happened to me. And Bill Glass said, you played Major League Baseball? He said, no. But from the time I was that age, my dad told me I was going to end up in prison. Well, it's two different stories, but it's the same end. One guy was told his whole life, you're going to end up in prison. You're going to be a convict. You're going to do this. What did he end up doing? Self-fulfilling prophecy. See, he allowed somebody else to paint his portrait. Now, Jim Sundberg allowed his to be painted positive. But the thing about it is, we're so unable to paint our own, we sit around and let other people paint our portrait. We have people that say, you're not good in math. Well, don't worry about it. Nobody in our family's good in math. We're all bad in math. There's nothing in the brain that says you're bad in math. There's no family trait that you're bad in math. But if you paint that portrait and then you get a bad grade in math, you go, there you go. Self-fulfilling prophecy. This is what it fits in. You paint your own picture. Don't let other people paint the picture that you have.